I'm Chiscool Gaming, and today we're going to give you everything that I wish I had known when I was starting Genshin Impact, because let me tell you, this world, this open world, is very large, very complicated when you're first walking into it, and there are a ton of things that can make your life easier. So sit back, because we're going to give you everything you need to know at the start of the game to kick it off just right. Now, for those of you that have been living under a rock, Genshin Impact is an action RPG, exploration, open world, tons of gathering, questing, crafting, and collection action to be had in this game. It's an action RPG, which means you're running around using lots of awesome abilities to slay enemies. There is a lot of story in this game, especially in the start, and it is a gacha game. In this video, we're going to talk about how to make your characters stronger, how you get new stuff, and what exactly you should be doing in the start of the game. As you play Genshin Impact, you're going to collect different characters that have tons of different abilities, weapons that they use, artifacts that you'll equip to them, and so on. At first, this is a little bit confusing, and you run around with your new characters, mashing the buttons, seeing what they do. But if you want to understand what any one of your characters is doing, just make your way over to the talents, and you can click on them to understand, hey, what the heck does that normal attack, charged attack, special abilities, what does it all do? Pro tip, as you're working with this, you want to pay attention to how their damage scales. So in this case, you can see that for this character, it says Baron Bunny's hit points scale with Amber's hit points. So having more hit points is the thing you want for this character. And for other characters, the stats you want to focus on are going to be different. Speaking of stats, you can go in for each of your characters and make them much stronger by using what's called an artifact. There are 5 different artifact slots. You'll collect these as you're playing the game. And look, at the start of the game, you don't have to know too much about what these are doing. Just start equipping them for value. Over time, you'll focus on, again, which stats you want. So for this character, having more hit points is a really good thing. For other characters, you'll want other stats. However, as you work on your collection of artifacts, you'll notice that each of these belongs to a different set. You can notice that there is a slight amount of graphic indication of what set this is. For instance, you can see the cross over here is for the Traveling Doctor. So all of the Traveling Doctor set items will have that cross. Combining items from a set gives you a bonus as listed off to the side over here. Eventually, you'll want to focus on having the right sets to gain the most punch on each of these different heroes. But for now, don't sweat it, get stuff onto them, and start there. Don't let the fact that there are so many things you can do overwhelm you from just making some good enough optimizations and charging through the content at the start, because yeah, you can micro optimize later. In addition to artifacts, there are also weapons that you can equip to your characters. Each weapon potentially does something different, so you'll want to understand what that is. You'll look at the base attack, you'll look at the other benefits that the item gives you, and when in doubt, gosh bless, just get a high star item onto your character and start running around rather than using whatever dinky 1-star bow they kick you off with at the start of the game. Do make sure you look in every now and equip something better. That said, once you get a more solid understanding of which weapon you think will work best for the hero you're looking at, you're going to want to enhance and refine these weapons, and this is also true of your artifacts. You can go in, and if you have duplicates of a weapon, you can combine them together to rank up that weapon, which gives it some additional punch. You can see the benefit of that is listed on the screen. In addition, you can enhance a weapon by leveling it up. You do that by sacrificing potentially other weapons, or some of these materials can be used as well. I personally have been sticking with the task of just getting rid of my low star weapons. Pretty much anything 1 and 2 stars seems like it's very safe to get rid of. The 3-star items might actually be super legit, so I would be hanging on to those until you really know what you want to be doing. One other way you can power up your characters is through the Constellation. When you unlock a character multiple times, you have the opportunity to unlock more of this constellation, which gives you a bunch of extra benefits, but you really don't have to worry about that at the start of the game. It's not something you're going to be doing unless you get heavily involved with the wish system and spending money. Speaking of which, let's talk about how you unlock some of these characters and get the good stuff. In the upper right-hand portion of the screen, you'll see the wish menu. From here, you can spend some of your premium currencies in the game to get more characters and good stuff. You can see that there are several different banners. That indicates basically different loot tables for things that you can go hunt for. There are different premium currencies that you can use to go and basically take a chance at getting really great items, really rare drops from these different banners. It's essentially a loot pull, and you're hoping that you get the good stuff. In this case, good stuff is in the form of 5-star items and characters. At the start of the game, you're going to have enough premium currency, both in the form of Primo Gems and also in the forms of a Quaint Fate and also a few Intertwined Fate. You're going to want to wish at the 10x spot. That is because you are guaranteed to get at least one 4-star drop when you do a 10x wish, which is always what you're going to want to do, and there's like a 0.6% chance that you get something super rare. Make sure you actually go and do your wishes at the start, because these are going to be sitting here, and I don't actually remember in the tutorial or in the early game having spent a lot of time being directed to go and get my free good stuff over here. And yeah, do you want to spend your Primo Gems over here? I think you do. I'll probably drop these in a live stream soon. For every 90 wishes that you do, you are guaranteed one 5-star drop. So it's basically bad luck protection, or what most folks call sort of a pity drop. So you will eventually get a 5-star from this, even if you do get really unlucky at the start. Now that we talked about how you power up your characters and get more good stuff and rare loot, we should talk for just a second about how you progress your account, and that is called Adventure Rank. Adventure Rank is what you're going to be using to level up your account. You also can level up your individual characters. However, it's that Adventure Rank that you really want to push on to make progression into this game. There are a number of things you can do to work on your Adventure Rank. One of the most important things is powering through your quests. You're going to want to look all the way up on the Archon quests. Start with those, work on some of the story quests as well. Anytime you're not sure what the heck to do in this game, and like, yeah, there's a lot you can go and do, you want to go back to your quests, pick one of those, and then rock that out. Never in my life have I spent so much time running around chasing little blue orbs in a game, and you're going to want to get every single one of those because you're going to turn them in at a Statue of the Seven. Statue of the Seven allows you to change these animunculuses into more stamina. Stamina is what you use. It's the yellow bar next to your character when you're running around. You can see we get adventure experience, we get stamina, Primo Gems, and some sigils over here just for doing this. And so yeah, world exploration is highly rewarded, and you're gonna want a big stamina bar because as you're exploring and you start doing actions like sprinting or gliding, you're going to use up that stamina. If you run out of stamina when you're swimming, you're gonna drown. It's a bad situation. If you run out of stamina while you're climbing, you're gonna fall. Also a bad situation. One thing you can do to avoid taking damage when you're falling is to do an attack down. You can see here, I'm gonna do an attack, and that will prevent you from taking as much fall damage when you're falling because it's inevitable you're gonna run out of stamina in a really inopportune moment. And another thing you should do while you're exploring is you'll see these elemental pillars. If you use the right element on one of those pillars, it's going to unlock the next stage of whatever you need to do to get some sweet loot. In this case, we've got a fire pillar we need to do, and then we've got an ice pillar we need to do, which means we're going to have to switch characters. Speaking of switching characters, you should be doing this all of the time when you're battling in the world. A part of what you're doing in this game is switching between the characters to get great synergy on the battlefield, exploiting the fact that there are different elements in this game. I'll put a chart up on the screen with all of the elemental interactions, but the bottom line is that you don't really need to know the details at the start. Just know that when you start firing off different elements onto targets, you get different effects. Like if they're wet and you freeze them, they turn to ice. That's really powerful. Using these combinations will give you a huge advantage as you're battling in this game. As you start to power up your adventure rank, you'll eventually meet Catherine, who is going to offer you some really awesome stuff. She's got daily quests that you can knock out for some really sweet rewards. These are called daily commissions, and we'll show you exactly how you can go and claim those. In addition, there's something called an expedition where you can send a character to go and collect resources, on the map while you're not even there, which is really great. You can't use the character for other stuff though, so keep that in mind as you send them out on those expeditions, which are going to unlock for you. You're also going to get some really sweet rewards when you level up your adventure rank. One more reason why you want to focus on that. Be sure to make your way over here to collect these rewards. However, there is one single place where you can look at all of the different things that you might want to go and do. In the upper right-hand portion of the screen, there's a little book. You click into that, and there is a lot of stuff going on here. There are things you can do as you make your way through the game that are going to give you rewards in the Experience tab. The commissions I was just talking about as the daily quests. You probably want to knock these out every day once you get a hang of the game and you're feeling like, yeah, this is a thing I'm interested in playing long term. There are bosses you can go hunt in the world, which generally are not going to give you experience, but are going to give you some loot that you might be interested in. And there is a very important premium currency called Original Resin. This Original Resin will replenish over time. You can use it to do things in the world to collect the loot and get some extra rewards. So this is going to help level up your adventure rank. You can see I can hunt these leyline outcrops. If what I want is some gold, I can hunt these leyline outcrops if what I wanted was some experience. All in all, there is an unbelievable amount of stuff to do in Genshin Impact, and tons of players seem to really be enjoying this game. So if you learned something new in this guide, consider subscribing to the channel. We're really enjoying Genshin Impact, so we're going to be playing it more and making some more videos, and look forward to seeing you in the next one.